First of all, how does it feel to have such an incredible reception right now? You've been getting this all over the world at this point for this film, girl.
I feel incredibly honored and lucky. It's so sweet to see all of you here. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I've been seeing so much of you tell me that you grew up with me and then seeing pictures of you as little ones. And I just want to say thank you for being on this journey with me. I really, really appreciate you being here.
And they are so excited. It's been hours of them. Is Zendaya here? Is Zendaya here? I feel like I can just feel her presence. Tashi Duncan is such a beautiful, complicated, incredible woman. I'm curious to know what drew you to her originally and what ways, if any, you kind of see a bit of yourself in her.
Oh man, oh, she approaches life a little bit differently than I do. But I think what stood out to me is just that she was incredibly complicated and complex, and there was nothing one-dimensional about her. And I think it felt like a big challenge, you know. And how do I make sure that she's still human and fragile, and we find her gooey center, if you will. And I just wanted to also take on the challenge of tennis too. I think it's such an incredible sport, and the idea of like her being the best at it, I was like, oh man, okay, I'm really in for something here. So also just the amazing people that I get to work with as well. The boys are so talented and so wonderful in the film, and Luca as well. So yeah, I mean, the script was brilliant. Justin is brilliant, and it was a no-brainer for me.
This love triangle is as intense as the tennis matches are. Working with Josh and Mike, what was the highlight for you?
Just that they're wonderful, wonderful people. They're just really wonderful people, and they made it such a wonderful place to go to work every day. I think we all care deeply about what we do, but sometimes it's important to laugh and like have joy and make fun and like have jokes and make sure that the work just doesn't feel too serious all the time.
Who was the class clown?
I think it was all three of us, to be honest. It's just based on any given moment, to be truthful. But we just had a lot of fun, and I think when you create a space where you feel safe and feel supported by each other, then you feel like you can do your best work. So.
And you mentioned being interested in the physicality and the actual tennis of it all. Talk to me about the training. What was it like? Because you all pulled off those tennis scenes so beautifully. It was giving elite.
Well, we have a great director. All right.
Shout out to Luca. Absolutely.
No, I would say, it's a combination of many things. I think we had great, kind of like a tennis team around us, starting with Brad Gilbert, and Eric. I don't know if Eric's here, but there's Brad. Hey.
Hi, Brad.
But yeah, we just had a great team and support system around us. We had incredible, our tennis doubles, who are obviously really good at it. And it was just about, I think, kind of getting in sync with them. And for me, I tried to like approach it from a dance background because I was like, I'm never going to be Serena, okay? So I might as well give that dream up now. So,
just give it to Gab. Shout out to Venus. She's somewhere here on the carpet too. We saw her. Venus Williams, yeah. Is she here? She's in the building.
Oh, I'm about to find her. No, she's amazing. But I knew I wasn't going to be them, right? Yeah. So I realized that I had to approach it from a place physically that I understood, and for me that was dance. So I tried to approach it from like, okay, I'm learning choreography, and how do I learn this footwork or this physicality? And I really enjoyed myself.
And a producer also. What was that like, working behind the scenes also, which is so impressive?
I think it's just it's a way to be more creative and to learn, I think, from someone like Luca and be able to be in a space where you can support your fellow actors and hopefully get the best work possible out of the material when you kind of have like a real role or a seat at the table.
And I know we got to let you go, but just quickly, You've been serving up court couture all season, okay? This press run, we've got Law Roach over here serving just as much. Just really quickly, what was the inspiration for tonight's? Like, how much fun have you had with that?
My not so secret weapon over here. No, we really enjoy. I think we've played with theme dressing for many years now, and I think it's fun. I think when you have material with like rich references already, why not pull from it and explore and experiment through clothes? And so that's what we try to do. And sometimes the references are subtle. Sometimes people pick it up later. Sometimes it's very literal, but we have fun.
Well, you are having fun. I hope you have the best time tonight. Congratulations on the film. You were brilliant in it. Zendaya, everyone. Thank you.
Tonight, this is actually a dress that Law and I have had for quite a while. We've been waiting to wear. And Law just was like, what would be perfect for the LA premiere? And he said the Vera Wang, and I was like, oh my gosh, it is kind of perfect. And although it's not quite as literal as maybe some of the other things, there's something that still fits into this, this character that we've created for this press tour, whoever she is. I think having a really brilliant director, to be honest. I think he's obviously incredible and a visionary and someone I've wanted to work with for a very long time. So this just felt like the right thing to do together. And he just has a very keen understanding of human emotion and people. And he knows how to he knows how to live with characters in a way that I appreciate and I value. And I think that, everything felt like a real collaboration.
You play Patrick Zweig, of course, in Challengers. What originally drew you to the role of Patrick? He's so much fun to watch on screen.
Yeah, I think I was drawn by the idea of this kind of horrific, cheeky, flawed person who I saw so much love for. I felt so much love for, just in spite of his flaws. And to play someone who felt very different to me, and there was lots of crossovers as well at a time in my life that felt like a challenge and like an interesting thing to do. So
the chemistry between you, Zendaya, and Mike is absolutely incredible. I mean, the tension is next level. What was it like between the three of you building that chemistry, working together on set? Maybe a favorite memory?
We had the time of our lives. The three of us are very close. I think the big surprise to a lot of people who hear it, but also for me, was that, Mike Faist and Zendaya are obviously incredible actors, and to rock up and see that they're all the same as me and we're all kind of shy and all sort of scared. It was
I think Zendaya has entered the building. I mean, Josh, come on.
Look at that. Come on.
Talk about a leading lady, right?
Yeah, she looks amazing.
You were saying you were giving so many compliments about Zendaya. How conveniently timed.
No, I planned it. Yeah, we were all kind of shy and in it together, and yeah, it was a treat. We're all very close, yeah.
Incredible. So I got to ask you this. When it came to those incredible scenes on the court, one, what was the training like? Who out of the three of you would actually take it in real life? Who was walking away sort of the best tennis player? Speak your truth.
Yeah, I mean, it's Mike Faist. He's an amazing tennis player, yeah. Yeah, he beat us every day of the week. He wouldn't admit it because he's way too humble, but yeah, it would be Mike Faist.
I'll definitely circle back around with him on that. Talk to me a little bit about the dynamic with the three of you when the cameras weren't rolling. What did you love most about teaming up together? And then also Zendaya, seeing her as a producer behind the scenes for this film.
Yeah, I mean, in between, we were all sort of very focused and, we play games just to kind of lighten the mood. I think there's so much pace in this film and excitement that sometimes you need to just slow down a little bit. So we were quite good at that. And having Z as a producer was amazing. It was like having a head of department. We felt very supported by her, and if she wasn't filming one day, she'd still be there and, fighting our corner. So yeah, it was great.
Well, incredible job. Absolutely loved the film. Have fun celebrating tonight, Josh. Of course. Give it up for him, y'all.
Well, I mean, I think inevitably any role you play ever, really, there's an aspect of you that comes out in that character. But if there was a character ever that felt, when I first read the script, that felt so beyond what felt like me, it was Patrick, and that's the most exciting thing ever. And I have a lot of affection for him. You know, it's like people come out of this movie and you get these kind of extraordinary, like, very strong views about, Tashi's terrible, Patrick's terrible, Art's a hero, and then the next person will come out and go, Patrick's a hero, Art's awful, and I would just put my hat in the ring and just say that I think they're all flawed, but they're all beautiful. So, so I've got a lot of affinity for them. Well, I'm a great admirer of them both as artists, and, Mike is a phenomenal actor and a great person, and, he was responsible for getting me out of bed on the weekends and doing activities, which otherwise I wouldn't be doing. I'd be quite happy in my room. So I'm very grateful for that. But he's just a terrific artist, and Zendaya, of course, is phenomenal and like a force. And so to watch her work every day, both as an actor but also as a producer, these two roles, and she did it with such grace. It's very admirable. Yeah. I would encourage people to bat for the three of them, and I think ultimately, that they treat each other terribly, but they're all searching for the same thing, which is to reunite. They all want that feeling that they had at the beginning when they first met, and the realization, which is that the three of them need each other. They need to be as a three, and so I think that's what it is. That we want you. I hope people bat for all three.
You play Art Donaldson in the film. Tell me a little bit about what it was like stepping into his world. What challenged you most, maybe excited you most about bringing him to life?
Probably the most challenging, I think, on my end, honestly, was working with Josh O'Connor. Just a nightmare of a human, really. I mean, look at him over there. He's just kind of like...
Just taking pictures and being a generally decent human.
Yeah.
Autographs. Who does that?
Really milking it, you know what I mean? No, the truth of the matter is we really enjoyed ourselves working on this project, and it was a daunting task, taking on the life of a professional tennis player, and it was a lot of hard work, and I'm really grateful for both Josh and Z for all their wonderful support, and I hope everyone just enjoys the movie.
Absolutely. Now, Josh told me that you are an incredible tennis player, that you really left no stone unturned when it came to showing them up.
On top of being an absolute nightmare of a human, he's also an awful liar. That's not true at all. But look, we all worked really, really hard, and our jobs are to try our best and put our best foot forward, and I think we all did.
Of all the scenes that you shared with Zendaya, was there a memorable one to shoot for you?
I don't think that there was one in particular scene that we shot, but I remember early on in rehearsals, and it was a scene between. I don't want to spoil the movie.
Don't give too much away.
But it was a scene between Josh, Z, and myself, and we were rehearsing the scene, and it's this moment where she takes over the scene, and I remember watching her, and I was like, "Oh, she's great. We're gonna be great. This is gonna be great." And I just remember that moment very distinctly.
You are in good hands.
Yeah.
And quite literally, and figuratively, not just on the court when it came to what you guys were doing, but also behind the scenes. Zendaya is a producer on the film. Did you get to see much of that magic, the behind the scenes of it all, when she put on her producer hat?
No, the truth of the matter is that she's such a professional that any part of that, she kept aside. And when we were able to step on set and do our jobs, she was fully present and able to bring it.
Well, you did your job brilliantly. Congratulations. Have so much fun celebrating tonight. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Let's hear it for Mike Faist, everyone.
I think I liked the complication a lot. As an actor, the biggest part of the job is just reading scripts, right? And when this one came across my desk, it was very apparent to me that this was a special script. It always starts with that at the bottom of at the end of the day. It's just Justin Kritzky's, his writing, his script. It's a great story with complicated characters dealing with a lot. Well, I think, the biggest thing that we all kind of realized about this game in particular is the isolation. And, when you're on that side of the net, there's no one else to turn to. And, the big part of the reason why Justin started writing this script was because of this encounter that Serena Williams had, this claim that she was, taking coaching during the middle of a match, which is illegal. And so this idea of having the need to communicate dire, desperate things to a person that you can't, and feeling that isolation and everything that's going on in a person's head at that time. And Luca just captured that perfectly. Well, I don't know if I want to take anything of him with me moving forward, but I appreciate his stop along the way and my stop and what we had done together. But genuinely, the thing that stuck out most to me and what resonated me with the character was this idea of a craftsman, of an artist who falls in and out of love with his craft and is so desperately trying to kind of get back to that purity of why he loved it to begin with. And I think that was something to me that I always kind of like go through in my own personal kind of journey, as an artist and an actor. And it was the thing that ultimately resonated with me and made me want to do this film. Genuinely, she's just like a grounded human being and just a goofball at the end of the day, and just a lovely human.
All right, we are joined now by Luca Guadagnino, director and producer of Challengers. Luca, the big night is here for the LA premiere. How are you feeling ahead of it?
I'm super happy. I was waiting for this night for a long time. It's fantastic.
And the time is now. This is such an incredible film. It's so fresh, energetic, thoughtful. What originally drew you to the story, made you want to be a part of telling it?
A great script by Justin Kuritzkes, the possibility of an encounter with Zendaya, Amy Pascal, the producer, this cast, everything. And mostly the idea that we could have explored how people can really be a mess, but also be irresistible. And how the tennis was a metaphor for all of that.
Yeah. And to that point about being a mess, this love triangle is something. It is really something. It's complex, it's bittersweet. I think it's relatable in a lot of ways. What do you hope metaphorically it kind of represents or communicates to the folks who are watching?
I want that people feel released, that they can enjoy them as much as they can enjoy themselves.
And you mentioned that encounter with Zendaya. You got it. Talk to me a little bit about what it was like to work with her on this film, not just as a leading lady, but also as a producer.
Zendaya is a pure filmmaker. She's a force of nature, and to deal with her means to deal with someone who's super focused and knows exactly what she wants, but at the same time is a great listener and has a sort of sense of partnership that is amazing. I love her very much.
And talk to me a little bit about the action scenes. These tennis matches, the way that they come alive visually was just mind-blowing. What was it like for you directing them? What was the key to capturing that energy?
You have to know that before doing the movie, I knew nothing about tennis.
Nothing.
So it was a crash course for me, and we had the amazing Brett Gilbert helping us a lot. And the more I discovered the rule of the game, and the more I fell in love with it, and the more I felt I wanted to be into it. And with my DP, Sayum Bomukiti Prom, that's what we did. We immersed ourselves into it.
And this obviously is not the first premiere at this point. So what has it been like, feeling the love, getting the reception around the world?
It's not the first, and we had great premieres all over the world, but in a way, it's back home. So it's a great premiere.
Well, welcome home. Congratulations on an incredible film. Have fun tonight, Luca. Thank you.
Well, because these three people are very complicated, and they're very much fun. And you want to judge them, but you can't resist them. And I tried to put the audience in the middle of this triangle, on the court, off the court, so that the intensity of their emotions are all into the movie. I think she comes with a powers that is so strong within herself. And if you add up that volume with the greatness of the character created by Justin Kuritzkes and her performance, then it becomes like over the roof. I think we all fight one another and try to reconcile with one another, and we try to seduce one another, and eventually we are messed up people, all of us. And I want the audience to understand that they can really feel everything that is messy about their lives into the screen and be exhilarated by it.
First of all, gentlemen, congratulations on the film. The score is absolutely incredible. You know you're doing something magical when that's kind of one of the breakaway conversation pieces on social media. Talk to me a little bit about joining this production, what it was like working on the project, and how you really brought the film, the story to life via the music.
After you.
After you.
We had the pleasure of meeting Luca and working on Bones and All together, and as we finished that film, we really struck a connection. And he said, I'd love you to work on the next film I'm working on, Challengers. Read the script, it was amazing. Visited the set, and he said, I'd like this movie to be so you could dance to the whole movie. What if we had like driving, propulsive techno music as the score, and we'll make it so you can't ignore it, and it just makes the whole film move.
I'm into it.
Yeah, and it was an interesting challenge, and really, I think, elevated the film. The idea of that came from Luca was really genius, and very proud of the work.
Absolutely. And what would you add to that? What was the most challenging part, perhaps?
I'd add the first email we got from Luca said, I'm doing Challenges. Would you like to do it? It's super sexy. All capitals, spelled with one too many X's.
A lot of X's. A lot of X's. I mean, he didn't lie. The film is.
How can we deny that?
We can't deny it.
And I don't think I can add anything more than super sexy with two X's.
Super sexy with too many X's. We will take it. Now, you two are longtime collaborators, you're bandmates. I'm curious to know, what was it like working on a project like this? How different, or maybe not so different, was it from the other collaborations we've seen? And what are the rules to collaboration for you two?
You know, it really comes to, we try to take each project as its own entity and have it kind of define itself. And what makes it is who we're collaborating with. And in the case of Luca, he's become a great friend, someone that we artistically trust. And it feels like a fun journey to get into and see what can happen. You know, really, really fun time.
Well, it's a beautiful journey indeed. We absolutely love the film and the score. Congratulations again. Have fun tonight celebrating. Let's give it up for him, y'all. Thank you so much. Congrats.
I mean, with us, we're used to the world of being in a band where we can control everything and we're the bosses. You know, working in film, it's interesting and it's fun because we're not the boss. You know, we're working in collaboration and partnership with the director. And with Luca, we first worked with him on Bones and All. We really felt a connection and appreciation of him as a person and as an artist. He asked us if we'd like to do this film. We read the script. He said it's going to be a very fun, sexy movie. And I'd love it if it could be so beat-driven that you could dance through the whole film, and we make it in your face. And that was an interest. I don't know that we would have landed on that on our own, but that direction sent us off on a tangent that showed he was willing to go there and try to turn the movie into something different. It was a really rewarding experience for us, and like you said, it's a fun movie. You know, it's fun to watch. We're going to sit through it again tonight and see it in front of a room full of people. And it's exciting.
Fun and intricate, though. Like, I mean, I think that within the music, there's a lot of storytelling that's going on beyond just, you know, the rhythm, as it were. I honestly think Luke is one of the most sophisticated men I've ever met. In terms of what he can talk about anything as far as I'm concerned with a deep knowledge, so long as it's centered in the arts in one form or the other. But beyond that, he's just a great, loving, intelligent, brilliant storyteller.
With a great instinct. Like Bones and All, we read the script. What we saw back in the first cut was so much more than just what was on the page, and that's nothing against the script. Same with this film. We read the script, it's a tight, elegant story. Seeing it realized, the extra dimension that it takes on, is fun to witness and be a part of. Yeah.
I think people throw the word visionary around a lot, but in a real way, in terms of, as Trent was mentioning, like the idea of you read a script, you watch a movie, technically it's the same, but what Luke has brought to it is so much. Yeah.
Justin Kuritzkis joins me now. You wrote this incredible screenplay. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
how does it feel to have this finally come to life? From what I understand, your first produced screenplay, correct?
Yeah, no, it's really incredible. And to have it done like this and in Westwood, I'm from LA, so to be at this theater,
Hometown hero right here.
yeah, this is really, really meaningful to me.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad that it's so special. Luca called this a bit of a homecoming, this LA premiere, even for him. What was it like, him specifically being the director, to breathe life into your words?
Oh man, I mean, Luca is such a master filmmaker, and he really just speaks the language of cinema fluently. And so getting to watch him work was like going to film school every day, Yeah, it's really special to be there with him.
And Zendaya as our leading lady. We're going to need that all night. Thank you. Every time we say Zendaya, just like massive cheers. Thank you in advance. Working with her also as a producer, which is absolutely incredible. What was the highlight for you?
Oh man, I mean, she's so smart and so hands-on with every aspect of filmmaking, and she's really the kind of actor who treats her work like she's a filmmaker. So she's looking at the monitor, she's in the production office, in rehearsal. So it's really, really incredible to see her be so involved and hands-on, and yeah.
And there's so many incredible aspects to this film. I don't want to give anything away for those who haven't seen it yet, but I'm curious, what have you most been interested in communicating or saying via this production, via the screenplay?
Oh man, honestly, I just hope that watching the movie is as exciting and unpredictable as watching a great tennis match, and that's kind of all I want. And whatever people take from it, that's up to them. Yeah.
Well, beautifully said and beautifully done. Absolutely incredible film. Congratulations, Justin. Have fun tonight. There we go. He got it.
Well, the first sort of kernel of the idea came from I happened to be watching the U.S. Open in 2018, and before that I wasn't a big tennis fan or even like a big sports fan, but it was this match between Serena Williams, who's here tonight, and Naomi Osaka. And there was this really controversial call where the umpire said that Serena Williams received coaching from the sidelines. And she got really upset and said that didn't happen, I would never do that. And I had never heard of that rule, but immediately it struck me as really cinematic, that you're all alone on your side of the court and there's only one other person who cares as much about what happens to you as you do, but you can't talk to them. And so how would you communicate the tension of that situation using film? And that was kind of it. And then from there, I was doing research, but really I was becoming like a massive tennis fan and started watching every match I could get my hands on. The desire to write the movie came from this real desire I had as a fan of tennis, which was that I was thinking, okay, what could I write that would be as good as watching tennis? And what would make watching tennis even better? And for me, the question of what would make watching tennis even better was if I could know exactly what was at stake, like on an emotional, microscopic level for everybody, the players, the coaches, everyone. And if I could just have somebody whispering into my ear, like everything that was going on with them in their heads. And so I always knew that the movie was going to work like that, because that's what I wanted to watch. Well, Luca would be an incredible choice for any movie, honestly. He's one of the best directors in the world. And I feel incredibly grateful and honored that he made this movie part of his filmography. It's just such a serious thing. In our first conversation, he said to me, I know next to nothing about tennis, but I know a great deal about desire. And after he said that, I was completely sold. A lot of that unspoken glances and stuff that's communicated between the characters on the court when they can't talk to each other, that was in the script. But obviously when you're working with people who are at the top of their game, like these actors and like Luca and our DP and everybody, you find so many little moments that say everything about a character. And we were discovering stuff like that every day because these guys are they were so keyed into who their characters were, but they're also just so talented and, good at what they do. I want them to feel whatever they want to feel, but I hope that the journey of it is as exciting and unpredictable and dynamic as watching a great tennis match. That's really where it came from for me. I wanted to make a movie that felt like watching a great sports game. So that's what I hope they feel.
Well, first of all, Brad, the day is finally here for the LA premiere of Challengers. Talk to me a little bit about preparing Zendaya, Josh, and Mike to really exude elite tennis player status on the screen.
It was a great experience. It was a great learning experience. And actors have a lot of the same DNA as tennis players, and a lot of focus, a lot of determination, and, to really turn what they're doing into, something on screen. They worked incredibly hard, and it was a great pleasure to work with all three of them.
Okay, and I love hearing about that focus and determination resonating not just on the court with real-life athletes, but also with these actors in their profession. I'm curious, out of the three of them, I know you might not want to vote, who have the best athleticism just off the rip?
All three of them have good skills. Okay. Mike was the only one that really had a little bit of a tennis background. He played in high school. Obviously, Z has, a lot of athleticism and dancing and in her DNA. Josh maybe, had swam, he had played soccer, rugby, all of them, had, their own different characters of athleticism, but none of them, were prolific tennis players.
Fair. Well, you couldn't tell watching this film, which is a testament to, one, your coaching and also this incredible cinematic experience. I'm curious to know, what was it like for you watching some of these scenes back? Have you seen the film in its entirety yet? At this point, we've had a few premieres.
Yeah, I have. But, it was a short period of time. I spent more time with Zendaya here in LA before we started. But, pretty much like they're acting, a lot of times you have a short period of time to become the character. So all of a sudden, we had a short period of time, but they put in the hard yards to make themselves, the best they could be for this film.
What did training look like with Zendaya?
We would train early in Boston and LA. We did a couple hours every day. Then they had a couple hours every day in the gym. Not to mention they had their lines, and then they had the scenes for the movie. So they had long days. But a lot of times we were in the car in Boston by 6 a.m. To be on the courts at 7 a.m.
Well, whatever you did worked, because those three looked ready for Wimbledon. So congratulations so much on the job, and incredible film.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you. It was a unique experience. All of them, Mike, Josh, and Zendaya, they were all incredibly dedicated. And actors have a lot of the same DNA as tennis players. A lot of focus, a lot of determination, a lot of grit. We had a short period of time to make this happen, and they all put in the hard work. Well, Mike had, he had the most tennis background. He had played in high school, but he had a two-handed backhand, so he had to learn a one-handed backhand. So he had the most, but Zendaya and Mike are very athletic. All of them are. I think I'm better than all of them at smashing rackets. But they all learned. But it's not as easy as it looks to smash a racket. Josh probably had the most grit at wanting to get it done. Well, early on, before we went to Boston for the filming, when I was working with Zendaya here in LA, we went to a couple of college matches. We went to a Pepperdine Arizona State men's match, and we went to a UCLA Pepperdine women's match. And I think Z took in a lot of watching competition and learning and kind of figuring out, because she had watched a lot of tapes, but seeing it live, I think really, helped her, start to figure things out a little more. It's funny. It's like, I have kids. I have 3 kids, and it's an interesting story. I'm responsible. It's funny. A lot of people think that I had something to do with the writing of it. I'm just the tennis guy. And my daughter happened to be working for Amy Pascal, so she got me and my wife Kim. She got us the gig as the tennis consultant. So that's but that's I was the tennis guy.